Hi, and welcome to episode 33 of Stuttering, Demystified, and Beyond. I am Lori Melnitsky. I am your host. I'm a speech language pathologist and a specialist in stuttering and someone who overcame a severe stuttering challenge and also an ADHD life coach. In today's episode, I would like to talk to you about stuttering and a question that I get asked by many, is it really stuttering when they're young or is it word finding? And I did research on this and I don't really see any strong research to really support what I've seen over the years. So I thought I'm going to go by my experience, which is, and I've seen well over 1,000 who stutter at this point. I think we all have to remember that stuttering is not separate from language. So many kids, when they start talking, even if they do not stutter, they will start to say So they'll go out to school and they'll go to a park and they want to tell you that they met someone at the park and they're 3 years old and they don't really have the language to tell you, I was in the park and I met someone who was wearing a black shirt and brown pants, and they start going on and on. And you all know it because you want to pull the words out of their mouth. I saw this person, like, do you know what I mean? Like, um, so is that word finding? Is that stuttering? They're repeating a lot of words. So I'm just going to tell you, in my experience, and of course, unless you evaluate a child, young adults, and you have language testing, you don't know for sure. But generally speaking, at like 3 and a half, unless there are some, underlying issues such as apraxia, oral motor issues, language issues, some other diagnoses, a lot of times it's not word finding. How do you know? So just doing some, informal things like having them label some picture cards. Can they label these cards? Are they struggling to label them? Do they have a delay in language? Always, if you're not sure, consult a speech language pathologist. It's very important. I don't say you should self-diagnose, but if you're a speech language pathologist, generally speaking, I'm getting a lot of calls from people who are being told, parents, to just wait it out. It's probably word finding. A lot of people, especially during COVID, I feel like their narrative skills, their ability to tell stories was really negatively impacted. And sometimes we, as speech language pathologists, can just have them tell a story, tell a nice story, have them combine their words. I love how you said that. That was a great story. Add on vocabulary. So whether they're stuttering or not, and the approach matters, but you still can use positive language. They're still struggling to speak in some manner, and we have to figure out what that manner is because otherwise, people who stutter are being constantly told to wait. And sometimes people, and I really, honestly, my heart goes out to parents who are like, just, especially the ones who do end up stuttering later on. What's going on? I mean, if they're having word finding problems for 5 years and they're not getting any therapy, it's going to impact their communication. So we really want to help kids along the way because not all of them, and especially when they get to kindergarten, there's so much academic pressure that they're not really working on skills like what happened first, what happened in the middle, what happened next. So I personally don't work on anything in isolation. Stuttering affects people's ability to really communicate well at times. And if this is addressed early on, that could really, really help them. So just 3 tips if you're a parent. One, if you're really concerned, just get a consult. You can even just bring a video in to a speech language pathologist who specializes in stuttering and get their opinion so you discover how to help them. Number two, as much as we want to keep asking pediatricians, this is not their specialty. They're wonderful and they have great specialties, but speech therapy is not their specialty. They don't get a huge amount of training in speech in school. All they can really look at is developmental milestones. And number three, if your child needs help, get them help. Get them evaluations. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you keep waiting, like I said, unless there's a strong underlying diagnosis, you see sort of like looking around for words due to lack of inattention with ADHD. You sometimes see it with ASD or a language learning issue. But you really want to try and figure out, is it stuttering or word finding? So again, my preschool courses and my stuttering ones are going to be updated and they'll probably be out by September. If you need any information, please email me, Lori, Lori, at allislandspeech.com, www.allislandspeech.com. Again, this is Lori Melnitsky, host of Stuttering, Demystified, and Beyond. Thank you for tuning in.